Hey traders, John Hal here. Hope you guys are doing well. In this video, I'm going to answer a few questions. So do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video. The market will slap you sometimes, and you know what? It doesn't matter how good of a trader you are. Every now and then you're going to get that slap. So just be prepared and make sure you got a good risk management, money management, and so on and so forth. Anyway, let's get straight into it. I did a video yesterday talking about the perfect setup, and I have a few videos here. I have a few questions here that I just want to answer in this video. So let me get straight into it right now. Ashu says market is too dynamic, but what I've learned is that trading is like playing sport. You just have to wait for the right opportunity to strike, although it's not easy. Not necessarily, Ashu. Okay, Ashu, I must say, my man, you have focused so much on trying to get the numbers right. See, and then you say, John, please reply, how do you tackle the waiting time, being patient? Well, there's two types of being patient, Ashu, right? There is thinking you are right and being patient and waiting for the market to go in your direction, thinking you're just right. Okay, now, Ashu, you forever, for the last few years, have been just like bipolar and using all these number calculations and you're putting all your focus onto something that is so unpredictable that it's just wasting your time. Okay, now that's the first thing I must say. The second thing I must say is that when it comes to patience, there's a few things that goes into when it goes into trading, right? Firstly, it's being patient. Now, Ashu, the first thing I do say is it all comes back down to, have you got a trading setup that you trade? Or is it just because you think it's a good time? Or just because you hope it's a good time, or just because you whatever. See, if you don't have a trading setup, as I've talked about in the video that you're watching from this question here, if you don't have some sort of a setup on the chart and you're waiting for that setup, then you're just gambling. You're hoping it's going to get in the right direction, and that's not how successful trading works. Successful trading is not about making money every single trade. I have losing trades as well too. That's part of the trading. Right? So the first thing is being patient and waiting for those setups. That's the first side. Firstly, you need to have a setup. If you don't have a setup, then you're just gambling. All right? Just waiting for the right opportunity to strike, although it's not easy. Yeah, so firstly, you need to have a setup. Secondly, reply, how do you tackle the waiting time? How I tackle the waiting time in my particular trading is looking at my stats and realizing that I actually lose more money by rushing FOMO and all that sort of stuff in the long run than actually waiting. And there's only so many times that I get smacked, then I realize my fear of missing out, my non-patience, is actually stopping me from moving forward. So every time I go, especially right now, every time I try to rush into a trade, I think, all those questions, because I think, okay, by me actually taking my time, I'm actually going to move forward faster. So that's the waiting game there. Ashu. And now, yeah, and that's basically just how you do that when you're actually trading in the markets, is you've just got to be patient with the markets there. And if you don't, then the back of your mind, you've got to start to link more pain to that. Because I realized, as I said before, that the less patient I was, the less money the less patient I was, the less money I made. The more patient I was, the more money I made overall. That's both getting into the trades and getting out of the trades as well too. Okay, so that's what I do say there, Ashu. And also, Ashu, man, you got to get away from using those numbers, my man. I'm telling you right now, I've been involved with this market for 15 years. My mentor's been doing this trading now for almost 25 years. He makes $3 to $5 million a year. And I'm telling you right now, Ashu, you're putting all your energy into looking at the number calculations is a complete waste of time. It really, really is. Focus more on your time on other things that's going to be more productive in your life, okay? When it comes to trading or anything in life, right? Let's actually move on here now. Ani says, why do you use the 52-day moving average instead of the 50? Well, the first part, when you say, why do I use the 52-day? It's not really I use a 52-day, because it's not really a day moving. It's a day moving average on the daily chart, right? I just use a 52 moving average, Ani. Whether I'm looking at an hourly chart or a daily chart or even a weekly chart, I use a 52 moving average. Why? You said, why do I use that instead of a 50? Well, the reason why is because one of my earlier mentors taught me, showed me the 52 moving average, right? So if I'm looking at a 52 moving average on a weekly chart, that's like a yearly moving average, isn't it? And then if I'm looking at a 52 moving average on a weekly chart, that's almost 2 months. So that's basically what I'm looking at there for Arnie. And as I said, Arnie, as I said in this video, the number's not the most important thing. Oh, okay, I'm using a 50. Should I use a 52? People just focus so much time on that crap. It doesn't matter. You know, you could be using a 10 and a 60 moving average. Like, you know, it just doesn't matter. The most important part is, what do you use the moving averages for? And what I use the moving averages for is to gauge momentum. I'm looking for a short-term momentum. Because I'm trading the daily chart, I want to see how's the momentum been for that month, and how's it been for the next month or so afterwards. That's the only reason why I use those moving averages, is I'm just trying to gauge where is momentum right now in this time. Again, the number is irrelevant. It's not like, whoa, I can use this special number moving average, and oh, the 86 moving average, that's the one I should be using. Like, that's not where the focus should be. Make sense? It shouldn't be on that. What the focus should be is, first and foremost, 80% of your decisions, or 90% of your decisions, must come from the chart itself, not indicators or anything like that. Makes sense, honey? So that's the reason why I use 52. It's just because I learned from my mentor, and I've just used it ever since, and it just seems to be a moving average I like to use on no matter what time frame I'm using. And I use the 52 moving average, whether it's an hourly chart, a minute chart, daily chart, weekly chart, whatever. Make sense? So I hope that makes sense there. So here, 1988, Al Neutral says, hey John, how do you scan to help find these setups? Well, how I do my scans, let me actually bring up my charting platform here for a minute. How I do my scans is I've just set up a few basic scans in my TC2000. So if I bring up, say, this layout here, I've got a couple of scans that I run every morning. It's morning my time, it's afternoon in America time, but it's morning my time. And I run these two scans, and then I've got another scan here, and then I've got another scan here. And then what I do is I've also got another scan here as well too. And this is just a different type of scan that I use. Now, what I do with these is all these stocks are coming up, and all these stocks are potential, right? All these stocks are potential setups. And I simply go through these stocks to see whether I have a good setup. And it takes me around 15, 20 minutes, half an hour to generally go through all these stocks and all these things that I'm looking at to see whether there's something good for me. Make sense? So that's how I scan for this. That's how I scan for these setups here. That's how I do it, because I'm using this software here. Now, if you're using this on the stock market, the most important part is obviously just, firstly, not just scanning for these setups, Alan Neutral. Alan Neutral is the most important part is that you understand the system and you believe in the system. See, I believe in what I trade. That's the most important part. And I know that the better I get at trading the system I trade, the better trader I'll be. And the more I actually trade the system, even to this day, the better I get at actually trading that system, the better my results are long term. You know, my results right now are so far greater. And yes, I have my losing trades. My success right now is so far greater this year than I were last year trading the exact same system. It's just because I get better and better at identifying these really good quality setups. So that's basically what I say with that there. And you just need to have a scanning software to, for me, I set up some parameters to actually find these potential setups, and it's up to me to go through that. If you trade in this sort of system, and it's not just a stock system, the thing is no matter what chart you're looking at, a chart is a chart is a chart. So the exact same formation you're going to see on a daily chart are going to be on a 1 minute Forex chart, are going to be on a weekly crypto chart. You know what I mean? A chart is a chart is a chart. So hope that makes sense. Anthony, my man, I'm so curious. Why do you trade the last hour? It would mean a lot to me if you told me. Thanks, John. No problem there, Anthony. Now, the reason why I trade the last hour, Anthony, is this. I'm a very impatient person. Okay, now I used to sit in front of the screen 10, 12, sometimes 14 hours a day and trading all markets. E-minis, Nasdaq, S&P, mainly those ones. Short-term, like 5 minutes, 15 minutes, hourly charts with options and so on and so forth. Anyway, Forex market. Now, the reason why I trade the last hour is because I am interested in having a trading style fit my ideal lifestyle. So for me, I can get all my trading done, all my scans done, and all my trading done within 1 hour, and then I'm off during the day to do whatever I want to do. Do these YouTube videos, do some coaching, put some marketing together for my business. Go to the gym, all that sort of stuff. Spend some time with family, meditating, all this other stuff that's really important to me. So for me personally, what I do is, like right now at this current point in time, the market closes at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I trade from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. I generally get up around 4:30, half an hour to wake up, and then from 5 o'clock through to 6 o'clock, I'm doing that. And that's generally not true. From 5 through to say 5:30, I'm just looking at the market, see what's happening right now. And then from 5:30 through to 6:30, I go through all my stocks that appeared on my scans, see if there's anything through there, see if I have to get in and out, see if I have to get in any trades, get out of any trades, and all that sort of stuff. For me, it's all about having a trading style so I can do my trading, but then also continue to enjoy my life as well too. Now, a lot of people are worried about certain things in life, or certain things like, oh, John, you're holding stocks overnight. It's like, yeah, like what's wrong with that? So many people are like, oh, if I hold a stock overnight, it's like, yeah. So anyway, so I'm very, very comfortable. I'm very, 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 and it all comes down to what are you comfortable doing? You know what I mean? Like, I'm comfortable, like I know my results, and I know I'm very, very comfortable trading the way I'm trading, especially using options. Because I can be in a trade and anywhere from 1 to 5 days, I can generate a 50 or 60 or 70 or 100% return. And the more I trade the system, the better I get at it. And so therefore, it's, whether it's a $10,000 trade or $20,000 trade or $100,000 trade, the numbers are the exact same thing. Makes sense? So for me, it's just about having that. And as I said before, I'm a very impatient person. I don't like sitting in front of the screen looking at the charts for too long. I start to get bored. I start to yawn. It's all that sort of stuff. So for me, I want to spend no more than an hour looking at the market, doing my scans. Do I have to get out of the market? Do I have to get in the market? And then letting the market do its thing. And then also doing scans for new potential trades as well too. So that's the other reason why. And for me, by doing that, it also allows me to enjoy my life. I'm a lot more happier, but then I make less mistakes when I'm actually trading as well too. I've tried to go back and do some shorter term trading, 1 minute chart, 5 minute charts. It is for some people. It's not for me. Some people like to use that sort of trade the first hour and a half or stuff like that. That's obviously not for me because that's like midnight my time. I want to get a good night's sleep, and say, Anthony, what I do is I go to bed early. I get a good, say 7, sometimes 6 hours to say 8 hours worth of sleep, good sleep, wake up in the morning, have a good shower, so on and so forth, get ready, trade the market for an hour. That finishes at 6 o'clock in the morning. Then I'm off to the gym, and then I'm off through the day to do the other stuff that I want to do. And that's how, as I said, I'm setting it up so I can actually have more of a balanced lifestyle. Now, it's like an integration, you know what I mean? So I'm setting things up so I can make sure that I'm taking care of everything in my life, my health and fitness at the gym, doing my trading. I have section for coaching clients and so on and so forth. So hope that makes sense there, and that's where I'm at right now. That's what I do, and it allows me to keep trading and keep doing well in the markets and keep getting better and better and better that way. So hope that makes sense.